Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're going to be reviewing the Bremont Mark II. But before I do that, I want to remind you all of my current Kickstarter campaign that we have a watch that I'm running for, a watch that I designed myself. I'm really excited about this. It is an affordable chronograph. It costs $149 on Kickstarter. And it has a mecha quartz movement. So what does that mean? You get the affordability and reliability and accuracy of a quartz movement, but the feel of a mechanical movement. So it's essentially a mechanical chronograph mounted on top of a quartz movement. And basically that allows the chronograph to have a smooth second hand. I'll start it with the top pusher here. So as you can see, it's a relatively smooth second hand, and then I'll stop the chronograph, and when you reset the chronograph, it just flies back like a mechanical movement. So that's a really cool feature. I was just so happy when I found that movement, and I think it's really nice. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Also, I've included other interesting features like a tachymeter scale on the dial, and additionally a time zone scale and unit conversion scale on the case back. So definitely check out the link in the description to that Kickstarter campaign. But now we'll move on to the Bremont Mark II. So this, as I said, this is the Bremont Mark II. It's a limited edition, or not a limited edition, but it kind of pays homage to Jaguar, and specifically the Jaguar E-Type. The numerals on the dial are reminiscent of those found on the E-Type's different gauges, and I think that's a really cool kind of element to this piece. This is probably the most tastefully done automotive homage that I've ever seen from a watch. So obviously you have the Parmigiani Bugatti, and that's a whole nother kind of category, but for just kind of sub $10,000 chronographs, I think that they executed this one very, very well compared to, say, Breitling's Bentley watches. And kind of my chief reason for that is on the case back. So typically automotive homages, I don't know why companies do this, they have some sort of like mural on the sapphire on the case back. I'm so happy that Bremont decided not to do that, because you can see the beautifully finished movement. You have perlage at all levels, not just that front plate. You have a custom kind of steering wheel rotor on it, but it's all very tastefully done, even though it's supposed to kind of be reminiscent of a car, instead of just kind of putting logos everywhere. And obviously you have the new Jaguar logo on the back here. It says E-Type, and that actually contrasts the vintage Jaguar logo on the front. But I just think it's all tastefully done. It's not overly car specific. And again, you get to see that beautiful movement. It is an ETA based movement, but it's obviously the top grade in terms of finishing. It's just fantastic. One drawback is it does have a 42-hour power reserve. I would have liked to see 48 hours, but it's a chronograph and it's automatic, so that shouldn't be that much of an issue. I'll demonstrate the chronograph here. So to utilize that, you push the top pusher here. It'll start moving. Stop the chronograph, push the top pusher again, and then to reset it, you push the bottom pusher. And another interesting kind of car-related aspect on this piece is you can see on the running second subdial, you have that red for the red line. I think that's a really interesting feature. In terms of its relationship to horology, it doesn't really relate to anything. There's nothing significant about the seconds range between 15 and 20 seconds, but I think it's a cool little element of red, and it kind of ties in with the element of red that's on the chronograph seconds hand. Also on the crown, it's a signed crown, but it looks almost like the Jaguar logo is embedded in a kind of resin, kind of like on a Mont Blanc pen. It looks very, very nice, and it's fairly unique to what I've seen on other watches. So that's something to check out as well, or to kind of investigate. I also love how on the dial you have at the stock where all the different hands are connected, you have a kind of covering that looks like the center of a automotive dial. So that's a really interesting feature, and I really like how they chose to do that. Again, it's just an automotive watch done very tastefully well. Also, you have a beautiful racing strap. It's genuine leather. It's fantastic. I'll try this watch on for a wrist shot. So this watch has a 43 millimeter case size, and that's actually typical of Bremont watches. I think it looks great on the wrist. I have about a 6.5 inch wrist in circumference, just for comparison purposes. It would look good on almost anyone, even though it is a little bit above 40 millimeters, which is kind of my maximum that I like to see on watches. So thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Also, check out the links to my Kickstarter campaign as well as the Continental Diamond website if you want to inquire about purchasing this piece. Thanks for watching.